Let me ask you something. And I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. How many times have you told yourself, this time it's going to be different, and it wasn't? How many times have you set a goal, made a promise, got fired up, only to fall right back into the same old patterns? You're not broken. You're not weak. You don't lack discipline. You're fighting the wrong enemy. And until you see the real reason you keep getting stuck, you will stay trapped, no matter how hard you try. But today, right here, right now, you're going to find out why change feels impossible, and more importantly, exactly how to fix it. If you stay with me for the next few minutes, I promise you, this won't just be another motivational speech you forget tomorrow. It could be the moment your entire life starts to shift. Are you ready? Let's go. You know why most people fail to change? It's not because they're not smart enough, strong enough, or capable enough. It's because they keep trying to fix what's happening on the surface. They treat the symptom and not the real cause. They spend their energy managing the pain instead of eliminating it. And listen, I get it. It's easier to throw a quick fix at something. It's easier to read a book, try a new habit, start a new routine, and hope it magically sticks. But deep down, you and I both know, if you don't deal with the real issue, you're just rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. You can change your morning routine. You can buy a new planner. You can join a gym. But if the reason you're stuck is buried deeper inside of you, in your beliefs, in your values, in your emotional patterns, no checklist is going to save you. Real change is not about tweaking the surface. Real change means getting brutally honest about the story you're telling yourself and the patterns you're addicted to. See, human beings are masterful at treating symptoms. Feeling stressed? Binge watch your Netflix. Feeling overwhelmed? Scroll Instagram until your brain goes numb. Feeling insecure? Post something online and chase validation. And when those little dopamine hits wear off, what happens? The same stress, the same insecurity, the same sense of not enough comes crashing back harder than before because you never solved the problem. You just numbed it. It's like trying to patch a leaking pipe with duct tape instead of replacing the broken line. It looks okay for a while, but eventually the pressure builds up and boom, the whole thing bursts. That's what happens in your life when you refuse to go deep. You can fake it for a little while. You can hustle harder, pretend everything's fine, stay busy so you don't have to think, but inside there's a slow growing crack in your foundation. And if you don't address it, it will eventually break you. So why don't people dig deeper? Why don't they get to the root? Simple, because it's uncomfortable. It forces you to confront things you'd rather avoid. Maybe it's a fear you buried years ago. Maybe it's a belief that you're not good enough, not worthy, not lovable. Maybe it's a story you've carried around so long you think it's who you are. But it's not who you are, it's just conditioning. And until you break it, no amount of surface level effort will set you free. You've got to have the courage to ask yourself, where am I treating the symptom and not the real cause? Where am I trying to put up fires instead of rebuilding the whole damn house? When you attack the root, when you get real about the deeper patterns, change happens faster than you ever thought possible. Because you're not fighting yourself anymore. You're not burning energy trying to hold up a fake version of yourself. You're clearing out the lies, the excuses, the protective walls. And you're building something real. You're not stuck because change is impossible. You're stuck because you're solving the wrong problem. You're stuck because you keep fixing the effect, not the cause. Imagine trying to lose weight by only switching to a diet soda, but never changing your relationship with food or stress or self-worth. You might see a tiny change, but it won't last. It can't, because the behaviors are only symptoms of something deeper. Fear, guilt, shame, boredom, loneliness. And if you don't deal with those emotions, if you don't heal the wounds that are silently driving your behavior, you'll keep living the same year over and over and calling it a life. This is why awareness is everything. The moment you stop blaming the surface, your boss, your ex, your parents, your circumstances, and you start owning the deeper work, That's the moment you take back your power. That's the moment the change becomes real. And yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable. Growth always is. You're going to face things you don't want to see. But I promise you, what's waiting for you on the other side is bigger than any temporary discomfort you're feeling right now. Because real change is not about doing more. It's about becoming more. And it all starts when you stop fighting the symptoms and you go straight for the cause. Most people think that if they just change their behavior, everything will change. They think if they force themselves to work harder, get up earlier, hustle more, somehow magically they'll become the person they dream of being. But behavior is just the surface. It's the tip of the iceberg. What really drives everything, your choices, your actions, your success, is your identity. Who you believe you are at your core. If deep down you believe you're a failure, you'll find a way to sabotage yourself, no matter how good the opportunity. If you believe you're lazy, you'll keep proving it to yourself over and over again. If you believe you're not worthy of love, you'll destroy relationships, push people away, and then use the heartbreak as evidence that you were right. Your life will always be a direct reflection of your deepest identity, not your shallowest intentions. And here's the kicker. Most people never consciously chose the identity they're living with. It was installed, it was programmed into them by parents who didn't know better, by teachers, by experiences that hurt them, by a culture that sold them a lie, and after hearing it enough times, after feeling it enough times, they adopted it as truth. They said, I guess this is just who I am. But it's not who you are. It's who you've been conditioned to believe you are. Change your identity and you change your life, period. But as long as you're trying to build a new life on top of an old story, you're going to be stuck. You're going to feel like you're running with the brakes on. You're going to start strong, get excited, make some progress, but eventually the old identity will snap you back like a rubber band. Because deep down, the mind always wants to stay congruent with who it believes you are. You say you want to be successful, but if you still see yourself as someone who always screws it up, guess what? You'll screw it up. You say you want to be healthy, but if you still think of yourself as someone who's bad with discipline, you'll find a way to blow it. You say you want to be loved, but if you believe you're not enough, you'll push love away every single time. This isn't a behavior problem. This is an identity problem. And listen, you can't just chant a few affirmations in the mirror and expect your identity to shift. You can't just say, I am powerful, and then walk around all day feeling powerless and expect magic to happen. Identity change is emotional. It's visceral. It's earned. You have to become the person you want to be through your actions, your standards, your daily choices. You have to condition it into your nervous system until it's not what you say, it's who you are. You want to stop procrastinating? Stop calling yourself a procrastinator. Start proving to yourself that you're a finisher every single day, even in the tiniest ways. You want to be confident? Stop waiting for confidence to magically show up. Start acting as if you already are and condition that experience into your body until it becomes second nature. Destiny is built through repeated experiences stacked over time. You create who you are through what you consistently do, what you tolerate, and what you demand of yourself. Every choice you make is a vote for the identity you are building. The mistake people make is waiting for some magical moment when they'll feel ready to become that new person. It doesn't work that way. You decide first. You step into it first. You live it first. And then your emotions catch up. Then your results catch up. Then your life catches up. You've got to decide, who do I have to become for my vision to be inevitable? What qualities, what standards, what beliefs must I embody every single day until it's no longer an act? It's who I am. Because when your identity is aligned with your vision, discipline becomes easy, action becomes automatic. You stop fighting yourself. You stop second guessing. You stop hesitating. You just move. You just execute. Because now you're living from a new place, not trying to force change, but letting it flow naturally from who you know yourself to be. You want real lasting change? It's not about doing more, it's about becoming someone new. Because when you shift who you are at the core, the world around you has no choice but to shift with you. People beat themselves up thinking they're lazy. They say, I just don't have the willpower. I'm just not motivated enough. No, that's not it. It's not a willpower problem. It's not a motivation problem. The truth is, most people are not lazy. They're scared. They're paralyzed by fear. Fear of failing, fear of succeeding and not being able to sustain it, fear of being judged, fear of changing so much that they no longer recognize themselves or fit into the life they've been living. Fear has a grip on them, and they don't even realize it. It shows up looking like procrastination. It shows up looking like confusion. It shows up looking like perfectionism. I just need more time to make it perfect. No, you don't. You're afraid to move. You're afraid to commit. You're afraid to step into the unknown and take ownership of what happens next. And listen, fear isn't bad. Fear is a survival mechanism. It's your brain trying to protect you. It's trying to keep you from getting hurt. But the problem is the brain doesn't know the difference between real danger and emotional risk. It treats starting a business, making a change, or stepping into a new identity with the same fight or flight alarm system as being chased by a lion. That alarm system kicks on and your body floods with hesitation, self-doubt, anxiety. And if you don't know how to manage it, fear wins. Every time. The thing is, fear is just a feeling. It's not a command. It's not a prophecy. It's just energy, and energy can be redirected. You don't have to obey it. You don't have to bow down to it. You can acknowledge it, respect it, and even thank it for trying to protect you, and then move anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear and doing it anyway. It's standing there, knees shaking, heart pounding, stomach in knots, and taking the next step. Because you know what's on the other side of that fear is the life you've been begging for. You can't wait until the fear goes away to act. You act and the fear shrinks. You move and the fear loses its power. You step forward and suddenly the thing that once paralyzed you becomes just another stepping stone in your journey. I see so many people trapped in the same cycle. They set the goal, they get excited, they plan, they research, they prepare, and then right when it's time to leap, they freeze. They come up with 100 reasons why now isn't the right time. They wait for some magical moment when they'll finally feel ready. But ready is a lie. Ready is an illusion the mind creates to keep you comfortable. If you're waiting to feel ready, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. At some point, you've got to make a decision that's bigger than your fear. You have to decide that your future matters more than your comfort. You have to decide that the pain of staying the same is worse than the temporary discomfort of stepping into the unknown. And here's the truth. The unknown is where all your dreams live. Everything you want is outside your comfort zone. It's outside the safe, predictable little world you've been living in. It's on the other side of the fear, and the only way you get there is by moving through it, not around it. You want to break free? You want to finally experience the real change you've been craving? You have to start viewing fear differently. Fear isn't a wall, it's a doorway. It's a signal that you're on the edge of growth. It's a sign that you're about to step into more of who you really are. If you weren't afraid, it wouldn't be meaningful. If it didn't stretch you, it wouldn't change you. Fear is proof that you're alive, that you're about to evolve. It's not something to be avoided, it's something to be embraced. Start asking yourself, how do I get rid of fear? Start asking yourself, how can I act in spite of fear? Because that's the real muscle you need to build. Not more motivation, not more willpower, more courageous action, more moments where you feel the fear, you respect it, and then you take the damn step anyway. Because when you stop letting fear dictate your future, that's when your life finally starts to expand. Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. If you're depending on how you feel every day to move your life forward, you're already losing the game. If you're depending on motivation to show up, if you're waiting for that perfect mood, that perfect morning, that perfect surge of inspiration to take action, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Because motivation is like a drug. It hits you hard. It feels amazing for a moment, but then it fades. It always fades. Winners don't depend on motivation. They don't depend on how they feel when they wake up. They don't check in with their emotions to see if they're in the mood to keep going. They build systems. They build structures that make success inevitable. They create habits, routines, environments, and standards that pull them forward even when they're tired, even when they're discouraged, even when every part of them wants to quit. You need to stop trying to manage your emotions and start managing your environment. You need to stop hoping to feel like it and start wiring your life so that progress happens whether you feel like it or not. Because here's the reality, your emotions are unreliable. One moment you're fired up, ready to take on the world, and the next you're questioning everything, wondering if you're good enough, if it's worth it. That's normal. That's human. But if you let those emotional roller coasters drive your actions, you'll live in a constant cycle of starting and stopping, surging and crashing, getting excited and burning out. Think about it. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who are fired up every second. They're the ones who do what needs to be done, whether they feel inspired or not. They've made success non-negotiable by embedding it into their systems. It's like brushing your teeth, right? You don't. Brush your teeth because you're super motivated to do it every day. You do it because it's just what you do. It's a system. It's automatic. You don't have to talk yourself into it. It's not up for debate. It's the same level you need to bring to your goals, your growth, your transformation. You need to automate the behaviors that lead to success so deeply that not doing them feels weird, that skipping them feels uncomfortable. You build systems by setting up your life so that action is the path of least resistance. You schedule your priorities, you design your environment to support your future, not sabotage it. You create rituals that anchor your days, rituals for your morning, your work, your health, your mindset, and you protect them like your life depends on it, because it does. You can't wake up every day and see how you feel. You can't leave your dreams at the mercy of your mood. You have to take emotion out of the driver's seat and put structure behind the wheel. Because structure doesn't care how you feel. Structure doesn't negotiate. Structure holds you up when your energy dips. Structure carries you through when life punches you in the gut. Structure gives you the edge when everyone else is quitting. And don't misunderstand me. Emotions are powerful. Passion is powerful. Inspiration is beautiful. But if you want to win long term, you can't be ruled by what's temporary. You have to be ruled by your vision, your standards, your non-negotiables. If you only act when you feel good, you're never going to build anything that lasts. If you only move when you're in the right mood, you're always going to live at the mercy of circumstance. But when you design your life around systems that serve you, you start stacking wins. Small wins every day. Momentum builds, confidence compounds. And over time, you look up and realize you're not the same person anymore. This is the difference between people who talk about changing and people who actually change. The talkers are waiting for motivation. The doers have built a system so strong they couldn't quit even if they wanted to. You want change to last? You want transformation to be real? Stop hoping you'll wake up inspired. Start building a life where success is the only outcome left. Because when you stop relying on emotion and start building unshakable systems, that's when your future becomes unstoppable.